In this video, I'm going to show you how you can let go so that you can receive more. A lot of the time when we manifest, we're like manifesting, but we might be doing it the wrong way, and therefore we're not actually getting the things that we want. I remember for a very long time, I used to do like manifestation boards or like visualization boards, and you put, your yearly goals on them, and you look at those pictures every single day, and it's like meant to create the things that you want in your reality just by visualizing it and reminding yourself of what you want every single day. Sometimes those things would come to fruition, like I won't lie, but also a lot of the time they definitely wouldn't, or the opposite would happen. And I didn't really understand because I was taking action, I was doing the things in order to receive such things until I understood the magic of letting go. And I know magic is a bit of like a, term, but it really does feel like magic when you experience it. So to start off with, and this is a quote I heard on a podcast a while ago, is instead of wanting, you want to be the person who already has it and act as though you already have it. So it's like the concept of be, do, have, okay? In order to be this person, I have to have these things, which is not the truth, okay? And it's actually creating a lot of resistance. So a lot of the time we are living in a state of wanting. Perfect example of me with those manifestation boards. I want this, I want that, okay? And you're living in a state of desire. And as like the Buddha says, desire is the root of all suffering. Even someone in my personal life told me, what is it? It's like admiration of someone else is suffering yourself, yeah? Where you put someone else up on a pedestal, for example. Desire is the root of all suffering. A lot of the time we live in this state of wanting, okay? And we think that once we have, for example, approval, or we have the love or the loving relationship that we want, or we have the money that we want, then we will be happy. Only then have we manifested what we wanted, okay? What I want to show you to begin with is why this is creating a lot of resistance. So the first point is to let go of excessive wanting. I want a car. I want a loving relationship. Once I have a baby, I'll be happy. Once I have a dog, I'll be happy. Once I have this, once I have that, I will be happy. This excessive wanting is putting you in a state of lack, which is a very, very low concept of energy to be living in. I don't have this. I don't have that. When you are in a state of lack, you are literally just creating more resistance and making it harder for yourself to actually have the things that you want. Second thing, release the need for control. Releasing the need that you have to have XYZ outcome in order to have the approval or have the love or have the money. And the last one, detach from specific outcomes. So we can break this down by looking at three things, okay? Labels, which is the L, people, and outcomes, okay? Labels. What are you labeling yourself? What are you labeling others? For example, I used to label myself as dumb, like I wasn't intelligent. And this came from a belief way back in childhood where I was like, I'm dumb, I'm not intelligent. And therefore, I just passed maths. And funny thing was when, I lost my career due to some surgeries not working. I was an athlete before, if you don't know. Anyway, basically, I had to do this year 11 and 12 course in 7 months because, you know, I gave up my education for my athleticism, and I had to do that course in order to get into university, right? Because I didn't graduate, so I didn't have an ATAR or whatever you call it. And I realized very quickly in the beginning of that course, which was very hefty, 2 years of school in 7 months, let alone trying to get good grades, let alone the fact that I hadn't touched a textbook in like 8, 9 years. What I realized was, okay, I have the label that I'm dumb, and in order to have what I want, which is to get really good grades, get into university, get into a specific degree, I have to get rid of this label, okay? The label of me being dumb was not going to help me get what I wanted. So instead I had to change the label of I'm dumb and therefore I desire to be smart. I just changed it to I'm really intelligent, I absorb information really well, etc., etc. And truly, this is where I use the word magic. The magic did happen, that I got incredible grades. In fact, maths was one of the best things I was, good at. And I also got into and I was doing the hardest maths you could do for a year 11 and year 12, let alone doing that in 7 months. And I was so good at maths. Maths was like the easiest thing for me just because I changed the label. I didn't live in this state of, I have to be smart in order to get into university or in order to get a good degree. I literally just changed the label. I didn't want to be smart. I was smart. I didn't want to get good grades. I did get good grades. Right? You see the change there? Another one is people, okay? So you might want certain people to be a certain way. Or I wish mum was like this. I wish dad was like this. I wish my friend was like this. I wish my coach was like this. I wish my partner was like this, which is living in the state of desire. I wish. Which just leads to suffering. If you are constantly wishing for people to be a certain way, you are living in a state of desire that once they are a certain way, maybe you're going to have the love, or maybe you're going to have the relationship that you want. When we let go of people having to be a certain way, we detach from specific outcomes. We detach from the need for them to be a specific way, or the need for them to do, a specific job, or whatever it is, whatever the outcome is that you think would make that person a better person for your life. You let go of the desire and therefore you don't suffer. Last one is the outcome, which I've mentioned a few times. But for example, sometimes even with myself, okay, for a long time, I was focusing on the outcome when it comes to content. And I thought it all had to do with views, okay? And then eventually I let go of the fact that, it's not about the views. It's actually more so about helping people and the value that you give. And even though my views went down, the magic was that my actual followers and my actual subscribers increased, which meant that my audience really enjoyed what I was posting, right? So once I detached from the specific outcome and I wasn't living in this I have to get XYZ views on the video, and I let go of that, I actually had more, right? Desire is the root of all suffering. When we are in this concept, I want this, and once I have this, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be joyful, my life is going to be perfect, whatever. We are literally creating resistance. Okay, I could draw an arrow in the opposite way that says resistance, right? But it's when we let go of labels, we let go of people, we let go of outcomes, when we actually let go of these things, then we actually have what we want. We just naturally attract it because we're not in a state of lack. Instead, we are living in the state that we already have these things. And that was the issue with manifestation boards and visualization boards, is that if you kind of had the wrong perspective on it, what you're actually doing is you are telling yourself, once I have these things, I will have approval, or I'll feel love, or I'll actually have the money, which is creating lack, which is creating resistance, because you're living in the state of, I don't have those things right now. Here's another very interesting story that I've had in relation to this, okay? Really, really weird, okay? So there's this specific, place that I really want to live in, like a literal, it's a rental because, I'm renting at the moment. And it's a specific rental that I really want to live in. I know the exact house, like it's on realestate.com. I know the exact address and everything like that, okay? And I really want to live there. I really want to move there. It just looks absolutely gorgeous, absolutely quote unquote perfect, even though there's no such thing as perfect. And basically my story is that I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but I wrote down basically a very, very small paragraph. It was just a couple of sentences of what my perfect day would be, but in a state that I already have that, I'm already living that, right? So I started off by saying, I am so grateful for blah, 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 blah. And because I wrote it in a state of presence, I wrote, for example, I'm so grateful for waking up in this house that looks like this, that is at this address. I was very specific about it. And because I was in this state of, I have this already, the really funny thing was, so me and my partner had looked at this place a couple of months ago or a couple of weeks ago, and he liked one place more than the place that I wanted and the place that I really like. And we hadn't talked about it since. It just didn't come up in discussion. And the really funny thing was, yesterday, we weren't talking about houses or real estate. We literally were not talking about anything to do with that. And he just randomly says, I really want to live in that place, And it wasn't the place that he wanted, it was the place that I wanted. I was like, that is so weird, because I thought you wanted the other place. And he's like, yeah, I changed my mind, today. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, why did you change your mind? He's like, I don't know. I genuinely like that place more now. And I was like, oh, okay. And I told him, yesterday I wrote this sentence and I really believed it. And I was in the state of, I'm so grateful for XYZ place. And it's just so magical that all of a sudden you're saying you like that place more as well. And you want to live there too. And that is because I simply let go of the fact that, oh, he wants a different place. And I also let go of the outcome of, maybe I will live there, maybe I won't live there, or I have to live there. I just let go of it. I just let go, stopped trying to control the outcome, right? And all of a sudden, even though we don't have that place right now, what I do have is a partner who wants the same place that I do. Even though initially he liked another place much more. And he even gave me reasons why he liked the other place more. So all in all, in order to manifest the things you want in your life, in order to live your dream life, instead of focusing on what you have to have, and therefore believing that you currently live in a state of lack, and you live in this state of desire, once I have this, once I have that, once I have that. You're labeling things, you want people to be a certain way, or you're focused on specific outcomes. Once you let go, when you let go, you also let go of the resistance you're creating. And that's how you just naturally allow those things into your life. It's really interesting, but basically, when I let go of, you know, the label I had, all of a sudden I got the most incredible ATAR I never even thought possible. Once I let go of the fact that my partner wants a different place than I want, and once I let go of the outcome of like views on YouTube, for example, I actually got more in. I got better grades. My partner actually wants the same place as me for some reason, and maybe have less views, but people are subscribing more often, and my subscriber count is going up, which is actually what matters, because it means that my audience really likes the stuff that I share, and it really is helping people. So that's it for today, guys. If you found this video helpful, definitely drop it a like. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. It helps me produce more videos like this. And if you think anyone else would benefit from this video, or you know someone else that maybe they are focusing on what they want and what they don't have, and they're living in this state of lack, and you know they want to change their life but nothing's really changing, definitely share it with them, because I know it would help them. And if I had learnt this concept a lot earlier, I would have let go of all the resistance I was creating and just naturally allowed so much more into my life that I truly wanted. So definitely share it with anyone that you think might, you know, have benefit from it. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.